All right, everybody. Here we are. We are back working on the fighter, getting the Gladius ready to go. And those of you that are wondering what has been going on this week and why I have just been not getting a whole lot of stuff up, internet started getting messed up. And recently we had the internet company come out, check it out, and lo and behold, bad cable. It's amazing what all that will do. But today we have this going on. We've got the Gladius ready to go. It is looking really good. It looks like a modified version of the Tiger Shark. If y'all know what that is, or if you don't know what that is, please do go look it up because it's an amazing little fighter. But right now we are attempting. I believe the last time I was doing this, I was messing around with this stinking missile, trying to see if I could launch it into something. We're gonna need a test subject to fire at, so we're just gonna zip on out here, all nice and happy here. And we're going to see if we can't pull something interesting up. Let me zip on down here, see if. Well, let's go through that real quick. There we go. So we got all these extra stuff here. Let's pull out something that makes a pretty good target for this. Let me see. Let me see. Nothing is loading up for some reason. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's find something to shoot at. What are we going to shoot at? What are we going to shoot at? I just don't know. Could pull back the Providence again. Take a shot at that thing. Oh, let's take a shot at this. Because why not? Let's shoot at some Star Wars ships. If it'll load up. It's taking a minute. There we go. Yeah, so we're gonna just probably knock a few weapons off here. Because, dear Lord, I want to see if we can actually get the missiles to hit the target, not see if the missiles will actually miss the target. Okay, here we go. Plus, I also don't want these things shooting at me every time I come up here to take a look at this thing. There's a gun there, too. Lord, there's a lot of them. There we go. Well, there's one more. There's another. There's another. Okay, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to set this missile to target power systems. And so that's how we're going to set up this missile. We're going to do probably two really good drive-bys just to see what the firepower on the Gladius is. See right here, the Gladius is starting to detect targets already. We'll be strapping two missiles to this thing once I figure out how these missiles are going to operate. So let's go over here for a second. Don't want to hit this missile because then it'll start floating away, and we don't want that. So we have the automated sensor. Let me check the setup actions here. We have lots of things turning on. Now, what I would like to do, see, we have a timer block on here. Go over here to target selection. threatening subsystem. We'll go for power. Someone mentioned that'd be a great idea. And then what I'd love to do is I'd like to swap a timer block out here. I should have done that. I should have done the more updated version. I need to put that up there is update the version of the missile. Because one of the versions that I have updated system should update. Let's grab, let's see what we could do. We could set up a secondary sensor here that when it detects a grid, it detonates both warheads. So let's don't want to hit the missile there. That's the problem here. We've got to be very careful. So setup actions. Let's first off put the warheads into a group. Okay, we got the warheads in a group. I believe this is automated sensor 2. We'll just pop back on. Yeah, there. So that's what it is. Okay, we're just gonna remove that because we don't need the timer block, obviously, for obvious reasons. And then here, we're going to set this up with the groups. And we're going to tell this to detonate, obviously. And here's what I want to do real quick. I'm going to turn on info and turn on sensor field range because I want to see this other sensor field. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this sensor down and we're going to push it out so that once it detects, the bomb is going to detonate at the moment it impacts. So we're going to see if we can't get a little bit more out of it. I have noticed that sometimes the sensor just does not do what I want it to do at times. Nope, nope, nope. That's clearly not it. That's clearly not it. Okay, how far we have this thing going out here? Let's do this. Let's extend the top here a little bit so I can see. And we'll extend the left part of this out to about here. We'll pull that back so it does not affect anything. And there we go. The missile won't detect a single thing. But once it detects another system, that'll be it, and the missile will just activate. So we should have everything ready to activate at the moment. Let's go ahead and just grab this thing real fast. We're going to grab a copy of this missile. And there we go. That's one. Now let's go ahead and strap the second missile to this thing. And there we go. We've got our two hard-hitting missiles ready to go. They will target power systems. Now, before we do anything else, let's head over here to the Quasar carrier. We're going to set that thing to bad guys. Because we need it set to bad guys. Alright, there's got to be a button or something somewhere. I can... Oh, wait. Is that a door? No, it is not. Thought it was a door. Nope. Nope. That was not a door. Let's look here. There's a connector. This is what we need. And simply put, let me see here. There we go. Everything is now transported to Space Pirates. Holy crap, there's a whole lot of stuff I missed here. Alright, grab that. Go up. Shift. Transfer to Space Pirates, obviously. And there we go. We now have an enemy ship. The Empire's moved a Quasar into position. We're going to attack it. So, buddy, Eric Evans, how you doing? Just throwing this up here. Internet is now fixed. So now I have to, I've got the ability. Oh, I just realized something we're missing on the ship. Just realized we're missing something. Oh boy, we're missing our projector block. That is very important. That is very, very important. Where is that block? We're going to put it up here because I do have room to put some extra stuff. So that's where this is going. That is right. And that should be... Oh, that's right, that's left, and that's the top and bottom. So we're going to shove that right there. And there we go. Now we just got to set up these two merge blocks here. Let's find the merge blocks. New carrier for it? No. We're using that. It's a Quasar fire. Crap, I don't know which one's which. Huh. Well, we're gonna just set one up here. Toggle block on and off. And toggle block on and off. Let's see if that don't help the situation here. Now it should target things. Whoops, that's really far out. Yeah, we got this main cannon on the side here. IT internet. Oh, IT. Yeah. So it turns out what happened was the last guy that repaired the internet just throwed a frickin' old wire onto it and made things a whole lot harder for everybody. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can fire this first missile here. And launch. Should be working. Is it flying into position? That's interesting. It's not doing anything. It's not checking. Nope, there it is. It's acquired target. Acquired target. Let's fire the second missile here. Why don't we? Let's go with number 3. First set of missiles go in. That one's gonna... Ooh! That sounds like there's a lot of damage. That sounds like it hit pretty hard. Oh, wow! The first one took out the entire front door section. Let's check the damage here. First one hit and just detonated right here. Second one just launched right in. I don't even know where it went. And you see debris in here. Where'd it go? One inside hit. I don't even know what the heck it did next. I think the first one hit here. You can see the hole right here on the side. That did some... That's a solid wall, I think. Yeah, those are solid walls. It just... That detonation, once it hit and crumpled, it blew up inside the ship. You imagine them things blowing up inside. That is some wild-ass damage. So we've got these set up. Need to figure out which one's which. Simple way of doing that. Let's just turn number 2 on. Go inside the fighter here. And we're gonna check for merge block. So merge block 3 is on. So that will be left. And this here will be merge block. Oh, what happened? I didn't tell it to do that. There we go. So now we can fire off missiles. We have the ability to do that. We can launch missiles with this thing. And also, when we fire this sucker at a target, we don't have the gun operated. You can see that just pretty much melts a problem. Let's just go over here and just shoot this antenna real quick. Those things are getting disabled very quickly by this. Yeah, see, that's done. That's triple on there. Badger ass damage. Yes, it is. It's badger ass damage. Time to do some badger ass damage. Oh god, that's gonna be a saying from now on. So the missile works great. We just need to set some stuff up on this. Let's go number 3 here. Turn that off. Slap another missile. I need to power these guys up and just do kind of a little bit of a fight with them because they do look really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very nice looking fighter. It's got landing gear, so it can land anywhere you want to land it, and it's got enough firepower and to properly defend itself from other fighters, and it's capable of just hitting you with a. Let's try a top attack with the missiles here. We're gonna try to top attack the missiles this time around. But that slight modification to allow these things to detonate inside is just ruthless. Oh, whoops. That didn't go on like I wanted it to. That didn't go on like I wanted it to at all. How did that happen? Oh, well. Let's just, there we go. We'll remove all of that and that there. Make sure. Oh! Fuck. Let's throw this bad boy back in. Apparently it was still connected somewhere. We almost lost all our progress there, ladies and gentlemen. All that happened. And that one didn't even connect. What the F? Alright, we're taking this off too. I don't know how all that... Oh, I see. I see what happened. Alright, let's try this crap again here. Ow. Alright, we need to delete that. We'll go down here and we'll grab the old missile. That's on here. I think I see what I did wrong there. I think when we decided to put the missile on, I should have flew back over to the small staging platform. But apparently when I put the missile on, there we go. That's one missile on. And now to get the other missile on, let's go ahead and V that one in. Oh yeah, we are attached. Now let's see what a top tags. We hit a deal, and I want to see what those are going to look like. And it's still got a pretty good amount of capability here. Get some distance. It's going to be a bad day for the Empire. Badger has to lead damage. Yes, yes, yes. Badger has to lead damage. Well, we've got a ship with missiles, which once I blueprint this, it'll be printable. Let's go in. We're going to drop number 1, and then we're going to drop number 2. And we're going to fly up here as fast as we possibly can to try and get ahead of all this so that when it detects the target, it's probably going to come in there hitting like a frickin' freight train when it comes in. Like I said, once this thing drops its missiles, it is really fast. But I want to see how the missiles do an impact, because they're going to come in. They're going to come in hard and fast. And I want to see. Here they come. Ooh! Damn! Geez, where's the other one? We launched 2 missiles. Where's the other one? Oh, well. Oh, well, now, they must have hit simultaneously. See the damage here. Ah, geez. Dropped right into an area and just opened a hole up. I think both missiles probably hit simultaneously. That's what the problem here is. Let's go ahead and slap 2 more onto the ship. Just to have some giggles here. For the giggle factor. Oh, wait, that's right. I gotta reconfigure that up. All right, we're set back up for missile launch. Attach 1. And attach 2. So let's try 2 separate missiles, because I think that impacted way too fast. They both apparently hit simultaneously, more like torpedoes. Yeah, they're very much like torpedoes. I do like the pushing out the sensor just slightly out, because they seem to detonate on impact, which is leaving very little of the missile left over, and it's just wrecking whatever's inside. All right, we're over 3,000 away. We're going to get to about 5,000, I think, would be a good option. Let's get to 5,000 meters, and we'll do a long-range shot from there. If this works out better like I'm hoping it does, this is probably going to be me putting torpedoes like this. I am planning on building a Corvette at some point in time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back a little bit. I'm going to give this first missile a launch at about half speed. It's going to hit at about half speed, so we're going to launch. Missile 1 there like so. And then I'm going to zip on past here at high speed. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get kind of close, but we're going to have this missile coming from an opposite direction. And it's going to be flying in at about the same speed, and we're just going to launch ourselves over here. It should come into contact here, and it should, in a minute, realize it needs to turn, and it should turn itself into the target. Rocket pods under the wings might be fun. That's the fun part about this. You can mount just about anything to this spacecraft. I can hear it. It's coming back. His first missile, he impacted good. Be a second one here somewhere. There's the second one. Second missile impact. Jeez. That is just knocking holes in your ship for giggles right there. That is just, I'm going to hit you and hit you freaking hard. That might be the second missile impact. It seems to have hit some armor and detonated prematurely. This one here ripped right down through and just tore right through the system. That is a ship problem and a half coming at you. And it doesn't detonate until it hits the target. That is wild amounts of damage. Let me go ahead and utilize my powers of Space Engineer God here. And pull up so you guys can see the monumentous damage this can do to a dadgum ship. I mean, a small ship, if we're talking something like the Red Corvette ship, PDCs are a must. Yeah, you're going to need a CWIS gun to stop one of those. And the Mako is a small target. You're talking a 2-block wide target with enough armor to get to your ass. But you see what this did? It immediately targeted a power system. I think it was targeting one of these batteries right here. The first one was. And the second one targeted something over here. I'm not sure what it was it targeted. Because it should be targeting power systems. Unless there's a power system here I don't know about. Which there may be. But now you have two large missiles that just locked right in there, flew in, just blew everything up. And now this ship's hurting. This is a large ship too. I mean, this is a significant amount of damage for a large ship. Take something like, let's delete this here. And let's pull up. Come on. Let's do this guy. This is Corvette Red. You're talking about a smaller class of ship getting caught by one of these things. That's going to be a nightmare scenario for this. Now, PDCs on it. Now, the reason I don't want to use PDCs right now is because give it any guns is because, dear God, I don't want it tearing up the prototype ship. We have a prototype ship, and I don't want it getting ripped apart by any guns on it. But this is just like pure, unadulterated. This is what a frickin' strike on a ship about this size. This is what I mean by the Mako is a really tough little missile. Let's make sure we ain't got no more weapon systems here that can just activate for no frickin' reason. And yes, I understand to everyone that's watching that you're probably thinking, yeah, this is not really a contest because this doesn't have any guns. It's not the fact that it has guns. We're doing a damage assessment of what this can do to a ship this size. Because this is usually what you're going to run into in Space Engineers. This is why the Mako is so darn difficult to deal with. Because a ship this size, and very few of them have as much defensive capabilities as something like this. This is a Corvette. All right, this is a Corvette. All right. We have space pirates here. get to the fighter. Let's go back to base and rearm real quick. Because like I said, that is going to be a nightmare for a small ship. So if you catch a guy off guard with this thing, or with that Mako, and that's one of the things that I'm just incorporating now. The Mako is just going to be an incorporated missile in a lot of my builds. So once you have a Mako in your, once you have one of these fighters. Also, Doug, when you said about mounting rockets, you have enough room here. You can do that. You can mount 2 extra rockets here, and you also have a connector. You can mount 2 cannons, 2 rail guns, whatever you want to put onto the bottom there. Everything but the big rocket launcher you can put on there. All right, we're going to copy that. And we're going to slap just another one on here. After that boy on, bad boy on. Juke, 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 juke. What are we doing here? There's 1. And Control V. Those of you that are wondering what I'm doing, we're using paste tools and stuff. There we go. Now, let's just show how terrifying this is going to be for like a small class of ship. Mako turret? Yeah, you could, we could build a 4-shot Mako turret for a station. You just have to, you'd have to have a way to set it back to neutral, pull it down, let the welders just weld up the new missiles, and then pull it up and just kind of have one guy turn it. So when it turns and looks, and then you just start pushing buttons and start sending missiles its direction. All right, we're going to do these at about, let's say, quarter power. All right, 1. And then 2. And then I'm going to bolt in there before they have a chance to really hit. Like I said, yeah, you're going to need PDCs. You're probably going to need custom PDCs. You're going to need turrets with at least 2 guns mounted one right under the other, just racking away at whatever target gets too, at whichever one of those gets too close. It's like something like this, I'm telling you. Here it comes, first missile. There goes the hydrogen tank. Should have a second one coming here in a minute. See what kind of damage we got already. So the hydrogen tank is completely taken out. We have a massive hole underneath there. That's 1 missile. That's catastrophic. Second impact. And these guys are having a very bad day. Now here's the big question. Can this thing still operate? Is it still flying? From just those 2 impacts, that was quite impressive. And this is a pretty tough little ship, I'm not going to lie. Oh, wait, that's right. Well, F you too. Let's grab a cockpit seat here. Okay, it's still functional, but you have your gravity drive is gone. We can maneuver. I think it probably has enough thrusters to keep going, but we're talking two straight line hits. That's crippling damage right there. And the main hydrogen engine is just down. It's not operating at the moment. We got some side to side thrusters, but they've lost all forward momentum. There's no like you've lost all forward momentum right now. Like I said, that's what makes this so dangerous. These Makos. That's what makes them dangerous is just two shots. Now you have a small ship that has just hammered the hell out of you. And then on top of that, that's just one make. That's one Gladius hitting you. You send these things in groups of 3. That's about 6 missiles that can hit your target. And the worst part is, even with PDCs, here's the problem. Even with PDCs, one of these guys can fly in and just kind of juke your PDC systems with a set of missiles coming in right behind him. That's one of the things that that I do with the what is it? With the oh, what is it called? But those missiles work way better. We may update the Mako so that you can put that type of Mako on a custom deal, but that's a lot of damage because now you're completely disconnected from everything. You got a they've got a block in here, but I mean like good luck trying to get that back into base. You have no forward propulsion. You're gonna have a tough time, and then you've got this thing coming in here that's gonna come in like a bat out of hell. Plus, it's got extra backup. It's got some backup. It can do. You'll have more guys coming with this, and then on top of that, you have that nightmare coming in with those guns set to the side. We can just go in and just start ripping apart stuff on that ship, targeting stuff. See, we just took out a engine. And if you're not careful, man, this thing will come in there and just start ripping off guns and stuff. See, now most of the side-to-side engines are just completely shattered at the moment. So that's 2 engines. That's like the entire side of the ship just down in a matter of seconds. So this thing has a lot of firepower, and it's small, and it's quick. If it decides to get going, it's going to get going, and you can easily just kind of put it in and pull off this little. Let me show you here. You can easily have one guy coming in. And have one dude just pulling off that Nautilus maneuver, which makes life a whole lot more difficult to hit as he flies by, and then then bam, missile smacks your ship, and you're getting crippled. This one ship can rip right in there and just start, oh boy, can start tearing into you. And like I said, it's agile. You just saw like that right there. I almost crashed the entire ship, but I managed to recover it at the last second. Yeah, it's not gonna play with you. This is gonna start hurting. Eventually, after a while, you're gonna get everything stripped off your ship, and you're gonna be facing off against one of these would be bad enough. Then you're gonna have 3 of them, and they're somewhat maneuverable. Like I said, that one first hit knocked out a couple of thrusters and knocked out the main thruster. So this thing just like it's not working anymore. Like you can see right now, it's flying backwards. It's in trouble. Now you can have another ship come in, which we're going to need a one deal. Morgan Trial, hello there. Hello there, Morgan Trial. We are testing out the Gladius's redefined Mako missiles, which we've given them a sensor which detects when they are hitting the target, not when a block is destroyed. They now detect when certain blocks get destroyed, the sensor detects to a certain point, and the missile detonates inside, almost inside of your ship. For instance, let's go ahead and pop one on here. You can just take a look here. I might as well pop another missile at these guys. Whatever this is. Let me look, ski here. Oh yeah, I can't turn that on yet until one Mako. And these things will be heavy with just 2 Makos on there, but that's not a big deal because once you start dropping Makos, you're gonna get faster. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit this thing again. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean by dropping a missile right on it and then just smacking the thing. All right, now see our little target here. And missile one. Oh boy. And we are watching missile one just go screaming into the target here. Detected it. Oh, it didn't detonate that time. What the heck? Did it not lock on properly? It hit but didn't detonate, did it? Or maybe I just didn't see the detonation. There's extra parts hanging off of it. We've done more damage. Let's smack it again from the front. See how that works. Launch. Let's see what this one does. Yeah, that's what it was. It just didn't register the explosions, what happened. But you see what that does once it hits. I didn't see the explosion either. Yeah, I think what happened was it just didn't show the explosion. But there's actually significantly more damage because that engine right there is more exposed. But you see right there, that Mako impacts onto the top of this thing. It just, the new design just rips holes in the side of your ship. This is what a torpedo is supposed to do. Like even, and like I said, even if you've got um even if you have PDCs on your ship, this thing is going to attract targets first. So I can come in at about half speed, pop off a missile, and then scream in there, pulling off all kinds of twisty maneuvers here. Just kind of spinning into the target, making all the guns shoot at me, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get smacked by a missile, just comes screaming out of nowhere. And you're sitting there like, oh, wait, I was concentrating on that idiot. Now you're running low on power here, buddy. After about two missiles, and if you got like two or three of them, that's not an issue, because now I can just strafe the hell out of your ship. See how fast that thing just kind of zips on over it. And yeah, this can come in really close and just, you can pull off some pretty close range maneuvers. And like I said, that little tri-set gun right there, one guy gets in front and he just starts strafing the front of your dadgum ship with this thing before your cannons can figure out what's going on. Hey, look, we just strafed out your guy. We've strafed out the inside of your ship. It just looks like something out of a bad. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like Neo taking the minigun when they save Morpheus. Just like, yeah, hello. Start tearing through it. Let me see. Eric Evans, test it versus my PDC. Morgan Trial, just having significant emotional events out of nowhere. Oh yeah, just hit it. Just here comes a missile. Have fun with that. And then it's like you deploy like three of these bad guys, and they'll just do damage. This thing just kind of spins right on in there and just starts wrecking shit. And I like the fact we have the gun on the right side. We just have all of our guns mounted to one side of this ship, so we have this big cluster of weapons. And this is just it doesn't require a whole lot. Like you are going to have to program this one little turret here. I think if I turn this, yeah, you can see the target system locking on. And then if I look in here, You can see I've got that ship locked in, and I've also got buddies off at a distance. That's well over 2,000 meters. I can detect those guys. How far away can this thing detect the target? Yeah, I'm not even in range. That thing's already picking it up. And it's also got radar detection on the friendlies over here, too. So, yeah. So we got to make this thing look good, obviously. And it's in, this one's got to be in triple R colors, which is basically black and orange. Morgan Trial, I didn't join the space merchants to get attacked out of nowhere. You have contraband. You have valuable goods, so we want to take them. Eric Evans, 2.5 kilometers. Yeah, I figure it's about 2.5 kilometers is where it's going to be moderately capable at. Let's go ahead and figure out how we built this system, did this thing. Okay, so I think we did brand new weapons. I am going to modify these so that they turn more. I'm going to give them an upper and like an up and down kind of configuration, which means we're going to have to attach a rotor here somewhere. Probably right about there, which isn't going to hurt the design at all, but it will enable, but with a little bit of finagling, that'll enable the guns to kind of turn up into the target. So when you come in, not only will it be gimbaled, but they'll actually turn into the target and actually shoot a little bit. So we're going to upgrade the this bad boy here, and this bad boy is just mental right here. This is the psychopath that you guys jump into to go have when you're suicidal and bloodthirsty. And yeah, this thing here can just dodge around stuff like it's nothing. But yeah, to answer that question before when you were sitting there talking, like Dog was sitting here talking about this, if you can mount rocket pods underneath this thing, some rocket pods would be nice. Yeah, you can do that. Pull up some weapons here. You can mount your rocket pods up here if you want. You can mount two good rocket pods if you really want to play that. We can mount an extra set of Gatlins if we want to add a little bit more firepower to the bottom. Another Gatlin right there. We can add twin auto cannons just to give ourselves, and then we can modify the fire rate off the auto cannons. We can put the big boy railguns on here, underslung those, or we can undersling these giant cannons here, and we can have the big boy cannons. Let me go ahead and lock those in. I'm going to take those off. I want to see something here with the cannons. I think this can work here. So now what I need to do is I need to go into the automation programmable block, I believe. That's not the right one. This one, I believe. Nope, that's not the right one. Okay, so I haven't put anything on this. So let's edit, browse scripts. I don't know what I put on this thing. Let me check here. What did we put on this? Oh, we were putting that one on here, and I didn't have everything to make it work. Oh well, once we're going to Salvo script mod. I love the Salvo script. Y'all know I do. Now we're gonna see if we can't get the. Okay, so we can't get the auto cannons here. All right, let me grab both of the auto cannons here. We're gonna call those Salvo Group 1. That's going to be their name. So then we can just salvo everything if we have to salvo it. I'll just go in and just yank stuff off here if I have to. Let's go down here, recompile, run. Custom data. All right, fire rate. We've got 120, but I'm going to art 1,200. I'm going to put that down to about 200. And I'm going to say, put that to true. And then go to G menu here. And that there. And let's see what happens. That's pretty cool. Well, let's kick that up to 300 there. Let's go ahead, run, recompile, run. I better watch the window. So now we've got, we can slave a couple cannons this thing. Let's go ahead and see if we can run that just a little bit hotter. Go 400. Nope, I can't go that fast. Like I said, you could just recompile this entire thing and just make it do all kinds of nifty stuff. Nope, not that. That, and we'll go for a 50. Like I said, now we've got that red ship at? Now you can just mount auto cannons to the side of it. You have a little bit more, just a nice spread of guns. You could just add more and more weapons to this thing and just have a blast with it. I'm going to reconfigure that. What's this down here? Group the GATs and cannons together. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. This feels like a Space JU-87G in this configuration. Yeah, like you could also add other things. Like we could mount a couple cannons to this thing and just have a blast with it. Fly up and it just pops off 2 cannon rounds right when you're showing up on the target. So now you got auto cannons to smack that target with. On top of that, we have our mainline minigun target, our mainline cannon array, which will take care of business. We also have a nice little radar that'll give us everything we need to know. I need to remove the help options on here because that's just not helping at the moment. Let's go ahead here and we're gonna have to paint this thing. Let me go into the system here. We're gonna remove delete salvo block 1. I'm gonna go into the custom data here, and we're gonna just remove all of this. So if you guys want to up it with your own weapon systems, you're more than welcome to do that. We are going to take these autocannons off, unfortunately. I know, they're cool, but we're going to make this thing work like it's supposed to. You see, it looks really nice. We're going to paint it all the orange and black. So right now, let's grab this up here, see what kind of black we got. We got clean armor here. And I want it in solid black. And then let's go ahead and flip. Now we're looking mean. Now we're looking mean. Now then, how am I going to do this? I think I wanted to put some stuff on here, maybe some regular blocks, but I don't think I'll do that. I think what we'll do is we're going to coat this side here in a similar orange as to what I have here. So we're going to use the old Shift and P. There we go. And now we're just going to give a little splash of orange right there on those two configurations. And we're going to do a little streak of orange there, obviously. And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to take this section here and just tip those in orange. Make it look good. There we go. Like I said, two main weapon systems are going to be the main cannons, and then whatever you guys want to mount to this thing. Now we are going to use a different form of gray. I do have this gray here normally, but this is more of a newer vessel. So what we're going to do here, we're going to grab a semi-dark gray. We're going to grab sci-fi armor because that's always good for a couple of details. I want to detail these back thruster panels here, so that this kind of stands out. There we go. And I guess we'll leave the main fighter cockpit like that because it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do that. And the main guns can just be as nice as they are. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It doesn't have to be fancy paint job, just a good paint job. Now, I guess we'll grab maybe that orange again. There we go. And we'll have to add some type of lock here. I don't know what we're going to put there. Let me look. Let me look. Let's see. What could we put here? What could I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll shove a remote control block right there. So this can be remote controlled from a distance if you have to. Now I do need to put a did I already put a remote control block on this thing? Apparently I did. Oh, well, that's interesting. So I already got a remote control block. I was like, oh, yeah, look, I can put a remote control block on here. That'll make it look good. I apparently already did that. Oh, huh. Well, I just F that then. Well, let's see. What else could we do here? What else could we put on here? Like I said, cheap, efficient spacecraft. I know we can put in. Let's do a heat vent. So as you're flying, you can see that thing just start to power up. Let's see. How does that look when I'm flying? Oh yeah, that thing just lights up and opens up, and now we just turn it off, and it kind of shuts down. You can see it kind of light up. That's good. That's pretty cool. Now we got it in this configuration. We can mount the Mako missiles to this thing, and save the blueprint, put the blueprint onto the ship, and then well, I gotta do some more configurations. So let's configure this darn thing. First, let's land it. It's one of the advantages of this ship. I can land it anywhere. We don't need a lock-on system. We don't need just the coil to make this thing work. It has landing gears. It can land itself on here. So we have not only the ability to fly the thing, also the black and this elongated look makes it look a little bit longer than what it should. So it looks really good. We've got a really nice ship right here that'll work just perfectly as we're flying through the air, just smacking people like they don't belong. Let me see. I wonder why. Oh, fuck. Now I did it. Why did that one not paint is what I want to know. Well, like I said, I've got to sit here and fix all this stuff. Oh, I should add flares to this thing. There's not much of a use for the flare gun, though. Yeah, like right here. Is that painted? Yeah, it's painted. I don't understand why that didn't paint. That's just weird. So I want to do a little bit more detailing with that particular block. So let's grab that again. And let's see. There's certain things that I could detail. Do I want to detail certain areas or not? Yeah, I want to detail this area here. There we go. Now we got that kind of angry look going on there. Like I said, it's just little things, little things, little things. So yeah, we're doing pretty good there. Let's make all that look interesting. Oh yeah, that's this. You can just have a whole hangar bay of these just sitting around. Let's go ahead and start configuring stuff. So, number one, we've got our lock-on systems on the side for our missiles. Let me read a couple comments before we continue. Let's see. Eric Evans, remote access block. Paint the Makos to match. No, the Makos are just a white missile. I like having them like that because then if you happen to see it, the first thing people say is, "What is that?" They don't really know what the heck that is coming at them. So let's see. Let's go into here. And we're going to start. Let me just remove most of this stuff so we can get. So here is this. We're going to do. I'll do switch lock on that. And then for the landing gear, I'm going to have to program those up. Let me group them together. Where's the group? There they are. So now you can land this thing on a planet if you want to. It probably will stay in the air, I think. We'll do that. And there we go. And let's grab that group. Put it right there. We're going to do switch lock. So I can switch lock that off. Let's also look at our other blocks here. What else do we have? Let's grab. Where's my
Turn stockpile on and off. I need to do something with these batteries here. And I need to group these together as well. But I'll do that later. Also a small insect connector. Let's go ahead and put that there. We'll do switch lock. That way we can mount this thing underneath a ship. That's one of the things I do like doing. Black and orange torpedo would look cool. Yeah, it probably would, but I like the white missiles on the side, so they kind of don't match. Let's see, what else do we have here that I want to turn on and off? We've got an offlet light. Turn that on. Let's see, we've got the large hydrogen thruster. I want to be able to toggle that on and off. That's it for most of the other systems. Everything else will have to be turned into a group. We'll do thrusters. And then let's see here. Where's our batteries? I'm going to take our batteries. Those. All those Mako fuel connectors. Then do reactors. And we'll say these are cruising. Is that how you spell cruising? We'll just say they're ion thrusters for now. All right, ion thrusters there. And that should be everything. Let's go ahead and start loading the rest of this stuff on. Let's go to these groups here. Toggle block on and off. Toggle block on and off. And we're going to have to go to the next one. So I'm going to have to put reactors here. Toggle block on and off. Oh, wait. No. I don't want to toggle that off and on. I want to recharge that. Let's go back here. Did I put the ions? Yeah, the ions are there. And let's also go back over here. Let's grab our O2H2 generator. We're going to put that there. And toggle that block on and off. And then here, I'm going to pull this over to number 9 anyway. So that you can just, while you're operating, you can just kind of hit your deal back and forth, but still be able to run everything. And this puts your weapons in its own category, so you'll have to keep up with them. Number 1, weapon block. Is what the Gatlins are going to be at. All right, we're going to do 1. We're going to do merge block left. Toggle that. Hold on, let's just go ahead and say toggle block off. Toggle block off. I don't have those in a group. We'll just toggle those on and off. And then go to groups here. We're going to grab Mako fuel connectors. I'm just going to say switch lock on those. And then then let's see what else. That's about everything. That's all our missiles and everything hooked up. Anything else you want to hook up in here? Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. We're going to remove these here because having the missiles over here means we can launch the missiles off of here. If you want to add extra weapons, you've got this entire slot here to add extra weapons to this thing and make it look amazing. So we got all that done. And then one last block to put in here. That is our projector. Toggle that block on and off. All right. So that's everything. Hooked up, locked up, and ready to go. So we got all that done. Turn those back on. Let's go ahead and look at those. Small connectors. We're going to strength disabled there. And let's set auto lock to about let's do like 10 seconds after it's locked on, because or after it's welded up. That way the system automatically loads itself up and it'll just lock itself back in place. Now then, we just need to add our handy dandy little Makos to the side of it. Let's wait here for a minute. Should be after 10 minutes, 10 seconds, it should auto lock in. It's not auto locking, so that's interesting. Oh well. And number 9, we'll lock those in. Why are those? Let me see here. Small hydrogen tank. Stockpile is on. Wait, no, I'm looking here. All right, there we go. Power those up, and then they don't lock in. So here we go. We have our little fighter ready to go. Check that out. And the white missiles on the sides just give it a little more. It doesn't look like they're a part of the system. So now the Gladius is more than ready to go. We just need to blueprint this bad boy and then ship it off. Let's see if we can take this thing off here real quick. There she goes. Let's see. Everything. We'll do number 5 here. Turn that off. That's working. And let's see if thruster configuration's working here. 6, on off. Number 7, number 8, on off. 9 will turn that on, and shut down, recharge. And so we don't have a whole lot of power, but for some reason we're getting power. Oh, we're running power off of the other batteries. Okay. Put that on the auto real quick. So yeah, this bad boy is working out great. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hop out here, and I'm going to blueprint this. And we're gonna name it. What are we gonna name this? Um. Let's do F. No, wait, we gotta do the triple R thing. Nope, wrong thing. F, okay, what is it gonna be? F what? What is the number we're gonna use here? What do we got the Saber designated as? Let's save that for now. What is the Saber designated as? Okay, it's an F-61 Saber right here. Call this, let's call it the F-51. That's how you spell Gladius, isn't it? I think that's how you spell Gladius. Hold up now. Gladius or Spathia? Spathia sounds pretty good too. Maybe Spathia. Maybe Spathia. I don't know. We kind of all agreed on Gladius, so I guess we're going Gladius. So that'll be the Gladius. It's just like a baseline. Like I said, our baseline ship. We sell this to everyone. You wanna go f up your buddies. You wanna go whoop on all the baddies out there. Here you go. Here you go. Now we need to get a screenshot of this thing. So let me pull back here a little bit. Actually, let's go out there and get a really good shot of this thing just. Remember where the rock is at that I'm operating off of. And I can't use F403. Captain Jack already did that, and he's coming back to Space Engineers finally. Boy, I would love to see I would love to see the F-302 fight a couple of Triple R's units. Okay, let's go ahead. Use the power of God here. There we go. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. Now we just got to line up the quote unquote projector here because we need that. Where's our projector at? Projector. I don't feel like screwing around today and doing all that. All right, there's that. Now I just need to, let's see, forward shift a bit. And then forward shift again. Not too far. There we go. Something right here. Okay. Should be working. Let's go ahead and chuck a missile. I don't know. We could do an RWI colors. Sell them to Jack. I'm pretty sure RWI wouldn't mind buying a couple of ships off of us, you know, just some Jeep fighters that can be built up rather quickly. Okay. And let's see. We can launch. How far away is that thing? Ah, we weren't close enough. That's the problem. Oh, yeah. He's in range now. Oh, he missed. Unfortunately, it's got enough fuel. It can come back. What are we targeting? flying like clean over the top of it. Of course, there may not be any power systems on board anymore. Yeah, it's trying to target something on top. What the heck? What's on top of this thing? It is trying to target something up top here. And it's just flying over the top. I guess we took out all of the power inside the ship. There's no more power components for it to target. Now it's just trying to figure out what to hit. It's looking for a target, is what it's doing. Oh, wait, there's a battery right here. It should be targeting that. I did set the power subsystems. All right, let's go down here and see if the system is working or not. Let's see, that's number 3. Projector. Okay, something's wrong here. Okay, I don't care. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Keep projector. There we go. So there's our missiles. We can reprint back up. I just finally ran out of power. It's flying there. Then you start hearing that thing go beep, 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 beep coming at you. And it's like, oh no, that's really bad. Yeah, but this isn't a cavalry weapon. It's not like a long range thing. I hear what you're saying, Eric. You're saying, you know, like Spathia because it's a cavalry weapon, but this is a general purpose fighter. It's just to go in there, hit something hard and fast, and not to give two craps about what gets destroyed in the process. Let me quickly whip up a print field here. We'll test this out. Print it up. Print. Where's this printing stuff at? Right here. There it is. And we'll break out the brand new ones. Missile 1 rearmed. Way out of back. Where's the other ship at? There he is. Now let's see how this works. Wherever they were targeting before shouldn't be too much of a problem this time around. That cut the rest of the ship in half right there. Oh, come now. That's just stupid. Why can't you just hit that thing? I've got you set to target power. Well, it is effective against much larger ships, so. Oh, the missile ran out of power right there the last minute. So yeah, perfect little missile. Just launch at a problem and just deal with it. Oh, you talking about putting it up against your broadsword fighter? Yeah, because the broadsword's pretty heavy, but it's like all it needs is just one missile. That's all it'll take to hit, and that'll be an issue. Plus, also, this cannon strafes you once or twice. It's going to be a problem. And it really depends on speed because this thing is pretty fast compared to the broadsword. Broadsword's more of hard hitting heavy fire. It's like something that goes out there and hunts down the biggest units. That's what I like about it. Unknown distress signal. Oh no. Like Negan, did you just unknown distress signal? Badger, did you just threaten me? Pardon my French here, folks, but I think you just threatened me. Oh, no, where's the distress signal? No, that seems like a threat. Yeah, I think the problem is we've kind of run out of stuff to deal with on there. It's still trying, God bless it. Yep, set to default. Nah, I want it to wreck. I want it to wreck the system. I want it to tear into the deal. I want it to go after power systems because if it goes after a power system, it'll work out really good. But yeah, we've got this thing all figured out. Unknown distress signal. I kind of want to send that thing in and fight with it. But these things will be awesome to have like in a cinematic. I need a ship for them to fight. We need an enemy vessel for it to fight. Have them go flying out of a hangar of some type. And then at some point in time, I got to modify the saber system. Yeah, they're pretty quick. I mean, even with that one big engine on the back, and then at the same time, I can just set it to cruising speed, so we can go down here, and we can shut down 6 and 7 entirely, and just run entirely on ion cruising speed. So the ion thrusters will just hit, and this thing we can just cruise it on ion thrust. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just sit there and let it just cruise and build up. And on top of that, this thing has 2 missiles it can drop onto a target, and it looks mean. It looks really mean with those missiles on the sides. And the reason I like them like this is because you realize someone seeing this, seeing 2 separate colors right there, will immediately go, that looks like 2 separate weapon systems. And you're right. You're right. It is 2 separate weapon systems. It's your worst nightmare right now. Yeah, cruising thrusters are nice. Um, 6, 7. Here we go. Let me see here. The only thing I don't like is how exposed the hydrogen tank is. Well, yeah. One of the things I've learned about making fighters over the years, if I leave that kind of exposed, it's not that big a deal. Because if you're going to take a hit to a fighter, you're going to need a thick ass amount of armor to stop something like that, especially at high speeds that some of these things will move at. And the problem with that is if your hydrogen tank isn't exposed, you're just adding more weight. And when it comes to fighters and stuff like that, you really want speed. especially if you're going to build these smaller fighters like this. And if you want to build something really big, yeah, that's a great idea. Uh, Power up and more power to you. But like I said, this is one of those things that you don't want a whole lot of. You're not going to want a whole lot of armor on one of these things. You want enough armor to control most systems. If you take a hit, and like I said, if you take a hit to this thing, if you take a hit to this thing, you're pretty much done anyway. Because most of those heavy gun rounds, those heavy armor penetrating rounds, like the assault cannon, a regular cannon, a missile, railgun, if one of those hits your vessel, it is going to go through it. It's no amount of armor is going to protect you. Either the cockpit or the hydrogen tank is going to get taken out, and you might as well just go balls to the wall and just strap it up and say, "All right, we're going to fly this thing. We're going to fly this thing, and we're just going to fly it to the best of our abilities, and hope to God we don't die in the process." But yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with in this design. Because like I said, it is designed to be a fast little booger. It's designed to get up to speed, pop off some missiles to hit a target. It's got missiles to counteract any targets. And like I said, also underneath this thing, we have more stuff. You could mount more missiles to this if you really wanted. You could missile boat this thing up. Just add a connector, a one connector to the bottom, and another merge block in about this configuration. Lock it into place onto a ship and have it fill up. But like Grexion's ship, the big carrier he has, this thing can easily fit on it because it's a little bit longer, I think, than the Saber. And like I said, the Saber is built. This thing is like your best friend, just snorting coke off a stripper's butt, and then start Nature Boy walking around the club. And it runs on guns too. But like I said, it's about the same size. It just has twice the engine power and a lot less life. Whereas this thing here has ion thrusters on it and a single thruster, and it can actually get from point A to point B. And it can actually do a pretty good job. I do want to do some upgrades though to the Saber. We are going to upgrade that thing because the Saber also comes standard with rockets. So when it comes in and fights, it's got standardized rockets as it's shooting at stuff. It doesn't have its main guns are shooting at things. And I think what I want to do also is I want to take these two guns out probably because they're really not going to do anything. Or I will completely reconfigure the Saber, keeping the engine layout. I'll keep the engines like they are to an extent, but I'll try to modify this thing in a way that it'll fly good. We're going to keep the twin engines in the back. I think we've got a much more upgraded version already, but I want to modify the guns on the front, the gimbaled guns, so that when this thing flies, it just locks onto a target and then it's just tearing into you the whole time as it's spinning around and attacking. And then you can set it to like different systems. So if we want to strip off the guns off of a ship, this thing can fly in and start stripping them off. And then you've got the main cannons, the rockets come flying and everything else. And then eventually I'm going to have to build something that will, I'll have to build something at some point in time to work into the system. I need to do a money shot right here. And then add the one thing on the bottom of it. Eric Evans, his fighter designs are why I have 12 barrel flat cannon PDCs. Oh yeah. because because these things zip in. You have the Saber itself can sideways stray faster than an assault cannon can turn. And that's the baseline turret. So you got this little monster over here just run right up on you in point blank range, just going burr, as you're just like slipping around the dude, just like smacking him with everything, with all kinds of firepower, and he's just like the cannon just struggling to hit the target. Within a few minutes, you can take out cannon systems on a ship. Which is why I said I want to set these things up with a rotor in there so that they're fully turreted, and then limit the use of the turret of the gimbal turret system so that it can't just go around and then have something that sets it all back to a specific point with a push of a button. That would really help. Morgan Trial here. Well, I guess they are meant to be glass cannons. They are just really quick. And the other thing is they're meant to be cheap and easy to produce. That's the idea. This thing here, the cheapest of all. You probably, if I do a machinima, I'm planning on doing some machinima stuff. You will probably see more of you'll see the Gladius a lot, and the Saber is going to be around, and eventually we're going to have a much more. I am going to build a different type of ship that will be more of an advanced fighter, which will have a lot of terrifying kill stuff attached to it. But this is more like the two baseline fighters you got. You hop into one and or the other, and you take off and go take on targets with it. So yeah, like I said, if I ever do a machinima thing, these will be the two fighters that you'll see a lot of in the machinima thing. I will probably once I upgrade. I do want to see if I can upgrade the Saber. And the cool thing about the Saber is also it's got this other little deal here. This is the one thing I showed this to Dog, and he was just like, he goes, "Oh, dude, that's so cool." So let me spin it here. It's like you're flying into battle at the moment. I think that's number 5. And right before you go in, you can deploy your S foil armor. So that provides like 2 extra points of armor. So stuff will hit. I've had artillery rounds hit these things and ricochet right off of them, trying to smack the side cockpit. And it's like, yep, no, we've got deployable side skirt armor here. That's not going to happen. I need to. I should upgrade those. You know, make them really wide, make them really tall, and then after I make them like really tall, to where they almost cover here, like take a bit of this side skirting off, kind of narrow it down a little more. And I don't know. I may do a catamaran shape, kind of fork the front thruster system, so it's kind of forked out there. I don't know if that'll work or not. We'll have to sit that. So yeah, Morgan Trial. How? Yeah. Um, it turns out if an artillery shell hits something at a decent angle, it will deflect anything. It doesn't matter how much armor is there. If the angle is right, it just deflects it. So it will deflect. I've taken on ships with this and just get smacked. I think one round come in. Oh woo 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 woo. Didn't realize we were still inside this thing. Let me set this thing back where it was. Here we go. Hop on out of here. And what happened was I was coming at like a Factorum ship, and I think a round came in and hit the shield about like at this angle. So that's more than enough deflection to ricochet that off. So it's like just a tiny bit of deflection. If that were a straight deal, it wouldn't have the deflection necessary to push it off. Now, I will say this. I watched that artillery shell hit and then bounce off and redirect another direction. It did take a chunk. It did take one of the plates out. So it's not like, oh, it's invincible as long as it hits at the right angle. No, it'll take it out entirely, but it gives you a chance to survive at the very least. You're not dead at the very least. But like I said, this here has more moving parts, so it's more of an advanced fighter. And then this one here is just a not so advanced fighter, and other people will be. If we do a machinima, if I ever did a machinima, you would actually see other factions with this, and they would have different configurations for them. So like this is just the baseline configuration for this, and then you have the saber right there, which is just awesome. And then we've got to do. I need I need a dog to get the broadsword out, and we need to slap broadsword down because his the broadsword's like a heavy attack fighter. And then, oh god, what else do we need to do? And then I would need to do a whole different have to do some sort of stealth fighter at some point. But that'll be like a later video. But yeah, folks, we got this fighter done. I may playlist these videos so you guys can look at them better. And you can see this thing. Like I said, it's just general purpose. We've got a radar. We've got antennas. We've also got an ore detector, so this thing can do or running. It's also got a cannon array to keep itself alive, and it'll tear things. Between the two of them, the saber probably could do a little bit better job because it could dodge the. I'm pretty sure this thing, the saber, could just like juke missiles all day long until they run out of fuel. But like I said, this thing is designed to take these missiles and just start dropping them into a target. That's something we ought to do, dog. You and I need to get together on one of our live streams, take the broadsword, and see if we can't give that gunship. Because I think that's what it is. I think the broadsword's a gunship, or it's a heavy fighter. I can't remember. It's been a while since we messed with it. But we need to take that. We need to take the broadsword, and we need to see how many Makos we can mount to that bastard. Because then, if you're carrying like 8 Makos into the fight, and we can just start rapid firing those into a target, that would really make that thing a nightmare to behold. It would be awesome. Eric Evans' angled armor is a thing for a reason. Oh yeah, yeah, it is. I imagine the pilot would be experiencing a significant emotional event after taking a that large of a shell. Oh yes, I did. I had a significant moment. I was like, I took a hit, and I was like, for a split second, my brain's going. Somehow we pulled that off, dude. So I don't know how we survived this nonsense, but yeah. I also have a idea for a Corvette. I found this really cool picture of a Corvette or a ship the other day, and it's a hand drawn ship, and I just fell in love with the design of it. I thought I've done a ship kind of similar to it. I really that's kind of designed that way, but I really want to flesh out that particular design because it has like this under almost catamaran style look to it, and that's kind of what I'm wanting to go with. And then I got other things I'm gonna do, but we're gonna have 3 ships. We're either gonna have 2 fighters y'all get to vote on, or a tank, depending on which one. The tank or one of the fighters is gonna be a heavy modify. Okay, so heavy fighter. All right, there we go. Heavy fighter. So that means you could probably mount several. We should be able to mount like we should be able to set up some hard points to fire like several Makos off of it. And if you want, I can go in there and gimbal up a couple rocket launchers, put them on a gimbal system. So when you come in, you're just like chuck and then salvo fire those things. So when they come in, it's just like and we're just like blasting away with it. But yeah. Anyway, folks, thank you all for being here with me today and watching all this unfold and seeing this nice little fighter get done. I am gonna have to take a picture of this later and do a just kind of show off like the whole family of fighters that's going on right now, the 2 that we've currently got, and put this up so people can see it and put the live stream. Oh, I've got a lot of stuff to do. I've just got a lot of stuff to do. Anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. Again, remember, if you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you know when the videos come out. And we have a membership program. Haven't I've had trouble getting the videos out this last couple weeks because the internet has just been just gone completely on me. But now the internet's fixed. I have full access to all of my editing powers now and all my video making capabilities. And so now I can bring more videos to you. And with the membership program, the way it works is it's like 99 cents a month. And basically, you're buying me a Dr. Pepper. And all it does is it's going to get right now, it's allowing people to access videos early. So if you want to see something, what I'm doing now is I'm just putting out several videos at a time, and I'm trying to catch up. I had a lot of videos up at one point, but then like I said, internet issues, that's no longer an issue, but internet issues, and then I managed to get that back up. So I've already got I've already had 2 videos up. I got 2 more videos ready to go in. I'm doing a series right now. I'm halfway through recording. I've got 2 recordings done. I've got, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more on just farming. So and the first video on the farming is really important because while you're in Space Engineers, you're going to try and figure out what you want to look for. Some of the things that you need to look for food is just not that obvious. And I figured that out real quick. So I've got a video on that coming, which you'll be able to see what it is you need to look for to find food now in Space Engineers because we have farming. Farming's really cool. I'm telling you, I've had a blast doing farming on the game. It's amazing. And yeah, I've got that going on. I think I'm gonna have about 4 episodes of that because I'm kind of going through each and every little thing, and I'm trying to keep the videos around the 8 minute mark. One of the reasons someone mentioned about the 8 minute mark, they were like, "Why you're kind of padding videos to get 8 minutes?" I'm like, "Yes, because I think YouTube, if I don't do 8 minutes, I have no control over how many ads are on there, and I usually keep 2 ads on there, one at the beginning, one at the end, because we all know ads are just absolutely shit right now. But if I don't do that, I think YouTube will just drop like 4 ads in 4 ad slots inside the video, and you'll just be in ad hell if it's a little bit lower. So I'm gonna probably do a video. If they're short videos, I will probably just go ahead, upload them, and make shorts out of them, and then just drop one right after the other. So, and if I can keep them under 15 seconds, that's the kicker, or under 60 seconds. That'll be interesting to see if I can do that. But it'll be just something quick and educational, and it'll have its own little playlist you guys can hop on. Farming and space engineers, and it'll give you everything on farming that you need to know. But yeah, like I said, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna go to bed. Eric Evans here, the last one on there, says he has posted the broadsword BP in Discord and chat. Yes, we will have to pull that thing out. Me and him gonna have to do a run where we take that thing and just start working on it and adding the ability to use, because we didn't have Mako missiles when we did the one live stream, and I'm fixing to do something pretty soon. I'm gonna need a couple of people. I'm gonna need people with recording software so we can record some stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, folks, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe and stay frosty. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.